Hi guys, how are you doing? I hope you are doing well and welcome to today's session of learning. First of all, forgive me because this video I was supposed to do it on 19th of June because on that day we celebrate it's okay, not really celebrating, but it's a World Sickle Cell Day. It's an awareness day about sickle cell. So I was supposed to do this video on that day, but I didn't manage. So I'm here today to do a small video just to let you know what is sickle cell anemia, how one gets sickle cell anemia, the symptoms, and also to remind us that we need to love those people who are suffering or who are affected by sickle cell disease, and also to know how we can support them. Okay, so thank you so much for clicking to watch this video. If you are new here, feel most welcomed, and also remember to subscribe if you like this type of content. If you're a member, thank you so much and welcome back again. So let's go straight to the topic. So I want us to know what is sickle cell anemia, because I know for sure you have heard about this term, sickle cell anemia, or maybe you have seen a baby who has sickle cell anemia. So, or maybe you're a parent who has a baby who has sickle cell anemia. So today I just want us to understand what is sickle cell anemia. So sickle cell anemia is an inherited blood disorder. Okay, it is inherited. That means it is transferred from a parent to an offspring. Okay, so you can't have sickle cell if your parents didn't have, or if it's not in your bloodline. Okay, so it's inherited, it's genetically inherited. So it's a blood disorder inherited in which the body produces abnormally shaped red blood cells. Okay, it's inherited whereby the body produces abnormally red blood cells that are in form of a crescent moon or a sickle. Do you know a crescent moon or a sickle? Okay, I'll show you some diagrams of how they look like. So cell, the red blood cell is in form of a crescent moon. Okay, so the lifespan of a normal red blood cell is 120 days. Okay, but now the lifespan of these sickle cells is 10 to 20 days. Do you understand the difference? A normal red blood cell is produced and it lives for up to 120 days before it's destroyed. But now these sickle cells, they live for 10 to 20 days. You see, that is a very, very big difference. So this short lifespan of the sickle cells is because they are prematurely destroyed. Okay, and this results to a shortage in the red blood cells in the body. Okay, so what is the function of a red blood cell in a human's body? It carries oxygen from the lungs to the rest of the body. You see, we breathe in oxygen. Okay, this oxygen goes to our lungs. So the red blood cells pick this oxygen from the lungs and then they transport this oxygen to all parts of the body. Okay, so because you know the food for the cell is oxygen. So oxygen provides energy. So without oxygen, there's no part of the body that will survive. They will just die from ischemia, lack of oxygen. Every part of your body, including your brain, your nose, your lungs, your eyes, your legs, your hands, need oxygen to survive. So you see, oxygen is vital. And the red blood cells are the ones that collect oxygen from the lungs, and then they transport it to the rest of the body. You see now, the red blood cells have a very important function. They have a key role they play in the body of a human being, and that is transporting oxygen from the lungs to the rest of the body. And now you see, when you have sickle cell anemia, your red blood cells are crescent moon shaped. So what happens when the red blood cells of someone who has sickle cell are exposed to low oxygen? They just change the shape and they become sickle cells. So when they become sickle cells, what happens is they become rigid, okay, and sticky, okay, and because of these irregular shapes, they can get stuck in small vessels, okay, which can slow or block the blood flow and oxygen to parts of the body. You see, when the red cell is in its normal shape, it's able to change its shape so that it can penetrate and pass through these small blood vessels. But when it comes to a sickle cell, you see, it's in form of a crescent moon. So they are rigid. They are not able to change size so that they can pass through the small vessels. So what happens is they can clog, okay, and they can stick together. And once they stick together, they block the blood flow through these small vessels. And when they block this blood flow, it means oxygen is not going to get to other parts of the body. Okay, so sickle cells break apart and also die easily within 20 days, leaving you without enough red blood cells, and this is what we call sickle cell anemia. Okay, so what are the symptoms of what happens at that moment when these sickle cells block blood flow to parts of the body? Because oxygen now is not getting to some part of the body. It can be the hand, it can be the abdomen, it can be a leg. When there's no blood flow to a certain part of the body, and there is what we call ischemia. Okay, that part can die because there's no blood supply and also there's no oxygen supply. So when there's low oxygen supply to a part of the body, it becomes very painful. That's why we have something called sickle cell crisis. Okay, that's when some part of the body is not receiving enough oxygen, and so that part becomes so painful. Okay, so I want us to know some of the symptoms of sickle cell anemia. Okay, number one, we have shortness of breath. These red blood cells are destroyed between 20 days. They are prematurely destroyed. This means you will have a shortage of red blood cells in your body, and that can lead to anemia. we have fatigue. You become easily tired because you have less red blood cells. That means oxygen is not able to get, your body parts are not able to get enough oxygen, and because they are not able to get enough oxygen, oxygen is the source of energy to our bodies, and so because there's no enough supply of oxygen, you will be easily fatigued. You will, in children, they will have delayed growth. We have episodes of pain crises. That is what I have just told you. Because of lack of oxygen to a part of the body, that part will be so painful. That is what we call a crisis. And also we have painful swelling of the hand and also the feet. Those are some of the common symptoms of anemia, okay, that is brought about by sickle cell disease. So what happens is you inherit sickle cell when from your parents, okay, and one of your parents has to have sickle cell anemia, and another one should have a trait for you to have sickle cell disease. So what are some of the supports we can give these people who have sickle cell? Number one, keep warm. If you have a baby who is a sickler, make sure you keep that baby warm, okay, when during the cold weather, okay, because their HB is usually low. So when your HB is low, that means your body parts do not receive adequate oxygen, and you might go to hypothermia easily. So make sure you keep your baby warm in a cold weather, okay, and also help them to exercise, okay, help them to exercise. This helps in blood supply to parts of the body. If your baby gets easily fatigued or has shortness of breath, that means their HB has gone too low, and you need to take that baby to the hospital for hospitalization to get and also if they suddenly begin complaining of pain, maybe pain of the hand, pain of the leg, pain in the abdomen, that means they are in a painful crisis. Rush that baby to the hospital so that they can get painkillers. See, that pain is so severe, even oral painkillers can't manage it. So rush that baby to the hospital so that they can get strong painkillers, and also check HB. If it's low, they need blood transfusion. They also need IV fluids, okay, and also preventing infections, okay. When they're in the hospital, they should be prevented from infections, and also another thing is they need love. They need to be loved. Show some love to those babies who are living with sickle cell anemia, okay. So on 19th it was a World Sickle Cell Day, so I hope you knew about it and you show some love to those babies who are living with sickle cell. Those parents are going through a lot because these are babies you rush to the hospitals now and again because of mostly because of the sickle cell crisis and also because of anemia. So if these parents ask you to donate blood for their baby, please go ahead and help them if you are in a position to. And also those parents who have babies with sickle cell, make sure you have a health cover for these babies, because you will find that you go to the hospital more often, and also when you least expect it. You see, this baby might be okay in the morning, and then all of a sudden in the afternoon they get a crisis, or they start getting shortness of breath. You never know. So make sure you get an insurance health cover for this baby, so that it can help you, because financially it needs a lot of finances to handle these babies with sickle cell, because they go to the hospital more often. Okay, so yeah, so that is it. It was about awareness about sickle cell, and also show some love to these babies, because this is a lifetime illness. Show some love to these babies, get them a health cover, so that anytime they need medical services, they can get them easily. And also if they ask for help from you, please help them, mostly in terms of blood donation, because they will be transfused. What else do they need? And also, moms, inform if your baby is a sickler, inform the teachers, okay, so that they can know when this baby has a crisis, they can contact you, the baby can be rushed to the hospital. Okay, so that is it for sickle cell. If you have any questions, ask me down there in the comment section, and thank you so much for watching this video.